Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of our tuning guide series. Today we are talking dampers or shocks if you prefer. I'm gonna say dampers because that's what the game says, but anyways, this should be a short one, so be sure to subscribe, you know the gist. Let's get right into it. So to unlock damping tuning you need to have either race, drift or rally suspension, which if you tuned the alignment, or springs and ride height you've already got a suspension that can do damping tuning. Now then, we're going to keep this really short, there isn't really much to know about damping. So here is our default damping settings. Now damping is one of those things, you don't really mess with this, you more so just throw it where you think, and unless the car really acts up you don't change it. But firstly, rebound, bump. Rebound stiffness deals with the suspension going downwards out of the wheel well, this is the force that tries to keep the tire on the ground. Bump stiffness deals with the suspension going up into the wheel well, this is the force that controls how much pressure is needed on the suspension for the wheel to come up into the wheel well. This is kinda difficult to explain, but basically your rebound should be stiffer than your bump stiffness almost all the time. There is some exceptions such as the F1 cars in motorsports, as they drive on almost perfectly flat roads, therefore they don't really want body roll. But this is horizon. 99.9% of the time you're going to have your bump stiffness softer than your rebound. So I have some fixed values I use that I'll share with you. We'll quickly go over how we adjust, then I'll share my fixed values. This all depends on your springs. A softer spring means the suspension has more travel. The more travel it has, depending on what you're tuning it to do, kinda suggests how you're going to adjust your damping. So if you're running a pretty stiff suspension, I mean in the 1000 pounds range, your rebound is going to need to be higher than normal. But I've yet to use more than a value of 11 for my rebound, and I've yet to use more than a value of 8 for my bump. I wouldn't suggest going over those, as then you're losing some ability over bumps for little to no gain in performance. So if we drive up a curb or something like that, and we notice the tire doesn't want to come up into the wheel well and it makes the tire hop off of the ground, our rebound stiffness is too stiff and that needs softening. If we're going quickly over a lot of rocks and we notice the tire is staying down too much and cause lack of control, our bump stiffness is too stiff and we need to soften that. So as a base, again, I'm not going to do the whole thing on camera, this is something you guys can mess with. But even these out, I would recommend starting with 8833, so front rebound 8, rear rebound 8, front bump 3, rear bump 3, see how it feels, then mess with the values. Try a higher bump, try a lower rebound. It's really not something I mess with a lot, and never had to mess with much, so we'll talk about my fixed values. So for 90% of road or drift cars, I use 11, 10 2, 3 like so. I meant 1, don't question it, it's 4 AM and I am tired lol, but this is what I use for drifting and on-road racing. Now for rally cars or off-road trucks, I use 8, 7, 2, 1. Now I'm quickly going to show you the way to figure out how stiff your rebound stiffness needs to be for your suspension setup. Now this is an extreme example, but this gives you the idea how to tune even with extreme spring rates. So here we have an extremely stiff suspension, and basically no shocks at all. This is how it drives. So it bounces around a lot, causing the whole car to lift off of the ground. So we'll start with stiffening the rebound stiffness. I would start with values of 4, so we're at 1, that means we would go up to 5. But with how stiff the springs are, we're going to pretend we tested that and jump to 11. so now it's not bouncing as much, but we're noticing a little bit of uncontrollability over a lot of bumps, so we'll turn the bump stiffness up. Again I would go by 4, meaning we'd go to 5, but we're going to jump up to 8. Now we can nitpick at it. We can start going up more on the rebound and bump. We can try lower values until it starts hopping again, but this isn't required. So let's quickly show off a super soft spring rate with way too firm shocks.
Arrived at your destination.
Now we see that it almost has the same effect, so we can start lowering it until either we feel it has too much body roll, or it feels sloppy through the corners. So again I'd go down by 4, we're going to go down to 10. 10. 3. 3.
Arrived at your destination. You have arrived at your destination.
And that's today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. I'll see you guys next week for aero tuning. Again, not a difficult subject. The next 2 might be pretty short too, but they'll help a little. So be sure to subscribe with post notifications. Leave any comments, questions and your own tips and tricks that you would like to share. And we're nearing the end of the series. I'll see you guys in the next one.